My name is Emmanuel Lee Lambert Jr. That's my biological name. I go by The Truth, Ebonics, The Truth.
Yeah. And spelled all caps and all periods, right?
Yeah, all caps, all periods.
Cool. One thing I had mentioned that I'm working with Wado, and I want to, for some reason, some people look at me as a bit of a historian in Christian hip hop, and I wanted to kind of share and take advantage of your experience and wisdom to see if you had any ideas of stories from your own recordings or parts that have been part of the genre of God using hip hop that would be cool to share with people, or that you really want them to know. I know you were involved in early cross movement days. I've seen pictures of you as like a 14-year-old or something like that. So any thoughts or memories about those kind of recordings or being around them early on that might have inspired you? Or
this is actually a fantastic question in light of some of what I'm trying to do moving forward. Well, some of what I'm doing, and I guess what I'm looking to expand. I've been, well, not obviously not right now because I'm on tour, but 7 weeks prior to the tour, the Lord really burdened my heart to pour into aspiring Christian artists.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't make it a big deal. I told everybody I'm not trying to start a church. I'm not trying to start a Wednesday night Bible study. All I want to do is help. All I want to do is be used in the process of spiritual formation, in the process of discipleship and shaping up-and-coming Christian artists. Because it's one thing to just sort of sit back, fold your arms, see all the flaws, see all the, all their youthfulness, and and just sort of like turn your nose up at it. But it's another thing to actually, be be a part of be a difference maker, and really help them, help them in areas where you maybe see deficiencies or weakness, and give them lessons out of pages of your story, And the reason why I'm saying that this conversation is so apropos is because that's what Cross Movement did for me, and it's so the thing that's missing today, I believe, is that piece. It's that discipleship piece. There are a lot of up-and-coming Christian artists, from hip hop to R&B to pop to you name it. Because the genre is growing, there more and more. That are getting on board. And
every church has one.
Every church has one or two or five or But the thing, and they come in, and it's exciting to see the youthful zeal. But a lot of it is uninformed. And it's not just information. A lot of people think that's it. If I just get on my doctrine right and I get on my, it's not that. That's a lesson I had to learn. It's ministry philosophy. It's understand. Being rooted, grounded, and established in the scriptures, so that not just what to do, because we all know what we want to do. We all want to preach the gospel, and we all want to edify the body. That's pretty much the Great Commission in a nutshell. But the how to do is the challenging part, and that's the part that you have to be trained in. And God does the training, but He does it through people. And so, with that said, that's what I've been doing as of late. I've been intentionally helping shape, form, disciple. Not to create clones, anything like that, but just to help people to follow people's bents so that they are who they are, but at the same time fuel them with the right stuff. To help them to avoid some of the things that I went through or that we went through, and to see certain things, to filter properly, to maintain a proper philosophy of ministry, and to have sound doctrine, while at the same time be a killer artist. You feel me? So that's what I've been doing. But this is what I was trained in, and that's the point. That's the part I want to talk about with regards to your question. Cross Movement was so. If you talk about my memories, I mean, they were so vital, so instrumental. They played such an integral role in my development as a believer, as a man, as a minister. They taught me how, they gave themselves to me. That's the sense you get when you look at Paul the Apostle. You get the sense that he gave himself to the churches. And with Cross Movement, they gave themselves to me. And like you said, I was a kid. I was 16 years old, going on tour with them in London. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what am I doing in Europe at 16?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was a lot to take in, so there was a lot of pride that came with it that God had to
So were you
bring.
performing, or were you kind of
No,
like
I was
a
performing
roadie?
at every
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like a feature. You feel me? Obviously they were the marquee,
Mm-hmm.
but I was doing 4 or 5 songs every day,
Yeah.
at these concerts, and people were learning who I was, and I've never stopped going to Europe since. Everywhere they've taken me, I've never stopped going.
Yeah.
And then God added to that throughout the
And
years.
is that before like your MP3.com
Yeah,
album and stuff?
this was, matter of fact, what happened, the way the MP3 the whole MP3, the thing came about was, it was I had no thing. It was no job at this point, and I was just traveling with them. I was about to go on my first tour with them, and I had no way of making money, so I was just gonna be out there. I wasn't getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna be out there. So this is back in the day. So I actually went in the closet. Life had a closet that we recorded in, like a little, like this big.
Yeah.
We could shut ourselves in there all sweltering hot. And that's why I did the EP, the Accept the Game, because I needed a way to, like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna package. And I remember me and my mans getting together, and getting the CD burners. It was
Yeah.
like, it burned like 1 CD at a time. And we just sat and we burned CDs. And I went out. See, I've always been like I guess like an excellence kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? So I went out. I got like the cover. Where
Oh,
you
the little stamp thing.
Got
Yeah.
this thing with the stamp. I got to have my picture. I stamped my picture on there with my information for booking. Blah 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 blah
Mhm.
blah. Got the jewel cases, all of that. So I thought I was doing something, but we stayed up like 48 hours. Like we take turns. I sleep 5 hours, or no, not that much, but
And just burning one at a time?
just burning one at a time.
Wow.
Burning 1 CD at a time until we got like to 100. He's like, all right, that's good. And we charged $5 a CD, and I was eating off them CDs.
Yeah.
So, and then eventually that grew where I could get them manufactured because
Mhm.
they, I got so big. So, and that EP helped me over for like 4 years. I was in full-time ministry on that EP. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So the Lord really used that. But a lot of credit to Cross Movement. A lot of people don't know the role that they've played, in the reach. And Reach is, like the Reach was on tour when we did the history tour. And this is when nobody knew who Trip was, or nobody, they weren't as big as they are now.
Yeah.
And they were on a history tour with us. Back then, by that time I was on like my 4th tour or whatever.
Mhm.
But but just the model, Reach sort of looked at Cross Movement as a model.
Yeah.
And sort of adopted that paradigm, adopted
Mhm.
ministry philosophies and things of that nature. And so and then myself included, and so many others. And a lot of people don't know the history, but we have adopted a lot of who we are has been shaped by what they've done.